Got this urge. I've had this urge to kind of do a video as we're coming to the end of 2022. And probably, if you're like me, and I think a lot of people have been looking back on the last 2 years and trying to make any kind of sense out of it, trying to figure out what we've learned through it, the positive, what we've learned that we are shocked over in terms of how things really work. Literally, I think for most of us, it probably feels like we've entered a realm or a zone that we didn't even know existed. 2020 even seems like eons ago, not just 2 years ago. It almost feels like this has been decades of time. So much has happened. I think all of us are coming out with different wounds and different things we have to deal with. It's been really, 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 really tough, I know, for everybody. And I think it's okay. In fact, not only okay, but I think it's important that we can honestly say it's been tough. And there's an uncertainty about 2023. I mean, I listen to different people that are psychics, whatever, that are talking about what could be for 2023. Are we ready for 2023? Well, we don't have a choice. And I think there's just this discomfort, this uncertainty, this you don't even know how to plan anything in a way. I think for some people, they're saying, oh, thank God, it's over 2022. We're heading now into a better situation, and maybe that's true. But I keep saying I think, what I believe is most important right now is we learn from this experience, that we look honestly at our humanness. Who are we, and what are we doing? How would we want things to be? It wasn't only just the pandemic period, but as a human, we're going through this evolution of human consciousness. So that brings with it its own set of challenges and experiences and shifts in who we are. And there can be one story after another story. And as I've talked about in some of my other videos, I do believe that life is a journey. And in this journey, each one of us have our stories. It's kind of the beginning, the middle, and an end, like a book, has so many chapters at the beginning, the middle, and the end, a movie, a play, whatever. And we're all in wherever we are right now, beginnings, middles, and I'm at the end of my life journey at this point, not meaning it ends tomorrow, but meaning it's the last chapters. And I look back on the last 2 years and I really ask myself, what is it that I can take from this, and what do I want to have moving forward? And for me, I really would like to see a shift in how we are treating one another. And I'm certainly not the only one saying this. I know there's a very strong urge and a very strong sense from many, many people that we want to start to be kind to one another. I hear that a lot. Be kind. To basically care for one another, show compassion for one another, and stop this insanity, stop this separation, stop this needing to judge another if they're not just like us. My sense is that this pandemic was a blessing. It stopped us cold, stopped us in our track, and we each did whatever we did during this time. We either resisted it, fought it. For me, it was a great opportunity to really go within not have any of the distractions that I would normally have, and to deal with my fear, because I have to say that for me, my fear was really triggered, particularly during the more like the lockdown in the beginning of this virus. Like, what is really going on? How do we? Nobody seemed to really have an answer. I mean, we all know what it was, so I don't really have to talk about it in that way. But for me, it was a real shift in how I was perceiving the world, and how I've had to look at what programs and beliefs have I allowed from childhood, to continue to be the driving force in my life. And so there's been a tremendous amount of change and shift that I've had in the last 2 years, and it's not over yet, that's for sure. The sense of, from when I think about what is the bottom line out of all this, could it be that would we be able to really speak our truths, not hold back, to just be part of the norm, or not want to, make waves out there, or how can we just speak about where we're at, what's going on, without feeling like we're going to be attacked? Can't everyone have their point of view and it's acceptable? I don't know, this could sound like a fairy tale, but I don't think it is. I think this is where we're headed. We are so out of alignment as humans right now. I don't know that we could get any more out of alignment. And so I think all of this was put into place in a way to really help many of us kind of get the shock of, oh my God, this is where we're at. This is what we've become. And so many people now, I think I said this before, talking about being kind. Being kind. I mean, it's almost like it's not been normal to be kind to one another, to allow each of us to have our own ideas, let us have our traumas and our dramas and our difficult times, and allow that to be okay, and in fact to be supported. Besides kindness, what about compassion? We are, everything kind of came to a head, obviously, in 2022. Politics, the learning, for some of us who have learned and seen through the manipulation that goes on in the world that we've not been too awake to, the corruption that's been shown, the complete lack of honesty. We're coming out of this saying, who the hell can we trust? I think the answer is we trust ourselves. I think for me, and I know I've talked about this in other videos, I really want to see if I can't get people to have a conversation with me through interviewing or talking on YouTube about their truth. I know I've said this before, but I'll just say it again. I don't know what videos people see before this, but I have this vision of the entire 8 billion of us sitting around a campfire, and each of us telling our life stories in all the different languages and cultures and races, and sharing that with one another. So that's my vision. I think if we could come together and share honestly our challenges, our difficulties, our things we've learned, and sharing that to help another. And then when that other gets helped, they share and it helps another. And I think this is what we haven't been doing. We've been silent, or we've been warring or fighting against, and that gets nowhere. Could we just show up as just who we are and share our life journey, wherever we are in that life journey, and allow it to be helpful, possibly. well, I know it would be helpful to others that are maybe struggling with the same thing or something similar to what we can share. And, you know, I've heard so many near-death experiencers now speak about that they weren't able to talk about their experience because they felt they would be, well, they thought they would be put away as called crazy. They felt that they would not be accepted by their family or friends, yet they were changed, completely changed from that experience. And so more and more and more have come out of the closet, so to speak. We shouldn't ever have to be in the closet with anything. We really need to come out and share our life journey with one another, to learn to have compassion, let go of judgment, and allow the healing process to take place, because I think that's it. It's the healing process. So 2023 is, again, an unknown. You know, I've listened to some psychics and some predictions, and, you know, nobody knows, really. Nobody knows. Who knew what 2020 was going to bring? And who knew the last 2 years what that was going to bring? So we really don't know. But I think right now we're at a place, as we enter into 2023, to have a choice and to say, do we want to continue on this path that we've been on of this fighting, this division, this judging of others, this my way's the right way, the good, the bad, all of the yuck that's been going on. Do we want to carry that forward? Because I guess we could, and just kind of self-destruct maybe. Or do we want to really get behind a choice of living completely different, of this human species having a completely different experience as we move through this evolution? That's a tough one on its own, moving through this evolution. It's the body that's really going through a lot of changes, huge changes, as we move through the shifts that have to take place to move into this evolutionary time. And none of us exactly know what it is. Some people speak in more authority of what they believe they are getting as downloads from guides, etc. I get a lot from my guides, and maybe you're getting a lot from yours as well. But the bottom line is, how do we come together on this? How do we come together in a strong way, in a global way? This isn't about what country you're in, or what language you speak, or what color your skin is. This is about literally, it's a huge, huge shift to come together as one, to come together as accepting one another for exactly who we are, and understanding what compassion does and what could do for this human race. Love, living from love. We don't even know what that means. I don't know what it means. I mean, we can imagine or have a certain experience, but I think it's way beyond that right now. I think we have a huge learning curve to move through. Very, very big learning curve that we is going to be in front of us. And I guess we can choose not to go there, or we can make the choice to kind of get on that track, get on that path. And each one of us is vitally important during this time. We're all teachers. There's not just some teachers out there. We're all teachers to one another, and in so many different ways this can happen. Does it happen to happen through YouTube? Hell no. It happens through the job that you have, through your coworkers, through the different careers that are out there. In every thing in life, across the globe, we are in a position where we need to, and would, I hope, want to shift the way we've been at this point as this human race. And it's by no, what do I want to say? It's by no accident that the pandemic happened, Nothing's by accident. We're in a crucial time, a critical time, and also an incredible time to know that we can get behind this time that's going on and shift and change in a very dramatic, very, very dramatic way how we've been with one another. No war, we don't need wars. We don't need the division of who's right and who's wrong. We could instead want and start to provide for this entire global group of the 8 billion that we are, safety and food and clothing and shelter and all the things that should be absolutely what as we should have as a human species. And the reason that we don't is we cause the problem. We fight against what we think isn't right, or we fight against what we think is shouldn't be. And all this happens, this belief that we have going on will happen from childhood stuff, from ways that we were brought up. And those are programs, those are computer programs, I call them, inside of us that can run our life without us even being aware of what's going on. But I believe we are at a time where it's going to be easier to become aware. And we can change this programming. We can make that shift, but we have to become aware that that's what's going on. So I'm kind of rambling. I don't mean to be rambling. I'm kind of in that place of this change, this out of 2022 into 2023. It sure feels like a different type of new year to me than I've ever felt before. And I think, again, the opportunities for us as a species, as a race, to gather together and really take on this challenge. And at the end of the day, whenever that is, really being able to completely shift this into this evolution that's going to take place with or without us. So I tend to think like I don't want to be a downer, so is that holding back? Because I think we really have to speak our truth. And maybe some of it can seem like a downer, but hey, if it's the truth, it's the truth. Or it's my truth, or it's your truth. So again, I want to remind you that I'm really wanting and hoping that some those of you that are listening to this video, and I'll be reaching out to some others out there, will join me in having a conversation on this channel about challenges that you've overcome, maybe challenges that you're up against right now, your thoughts of how to really move into 2023, your thoughts of what is important to make a shift. All of our ideas, and like I said, we're all teachers, are extremely valuable and important. And I think the thing is we all need to speak about it, not hold back. Now, when I say speak about it, it's speaking in a positive manner in terms of there's not a fight or a war going on here. I'm not looking for people that have an argument and want to change and shift whatever it is that they're fighting against. I think we have to be in a place of just sharing. No judgments. No, this has got to change or what. The only thing that has to change is our mind and our behavior to be kind and compassionate and allow others to have their freedom of speech, meaning whatever somebody is going through, allow that. Have compassion. If somebody's fearful, then we have compassion for that as well. It's going to evolve. I'm not sure how, but I just feel this idea is right. And hope that if you understand what I'm saying and you can get behind it, that you'll let me know. Contact me below this video, and all the videos is my way to contact me, to get a hold of me. So do look below for that. And give me a shout out, and I promise I'll get back to you. And let's see if this idea can be rolled out. Let's see if this idea has any importance to it. I think At the bottom line, I think what I'm saying, I think the word is authenticity. Can we be authentically our true selves? And I strongly believe authentically our true self is loving and caring, kind people, and allowing each of us to be who our true self is. So hopefully some of this makes sense. I don't know. I just feel it's so important for each of us to contribute in some way to what is going on now. And so this is, at this point, is my contribution. It's a little not completely thought out because I keep evolving through the process. So what you're watching is really an evolving, so to speak. Anyway, thanks for watching, and look below for my contact information, and let's talk.